Hello and welcome back. This is an English lesson for the third grade of high school. Today, we will continue talking about social awareness, asking ourselves, how can I get involved in my local community? In this lesson, you will express your opinion about the importance of the social awareness activities. You will listen to a non-native speaker looking for some specific information, and you will practice using both active and passive structures. For this lesson, in addition to your notebook and pencil, you will need a smartphone or a laptop with internet access. Having a QR code reader app might help you access the tasks more easily. Or you can use the links in the video descriptions. Mind you, you can always stop the video at any time to give yourself time to finish the tasks or maybe watch some parts again. Being socially aware means that you carefully consider what other people need, plan to communicate with them in a way that it is intended to meet those needs. Why do you think this is important? Read these notes here. They represent the goals of social awareness activities. Make sure you understand all of them. Now, copy these phrases used to express your opinion in your notebook. You will need them for this task. Do you remember all the activity goals we mentioned earlier? This is my opinion on one of them. I feel it is important to learn different modes of communication in order to be able to adjust during any conversation. As you can see, this sentence of mine clearly consists of three parts. The first part is an expression used to express your opinion. The blue part refers to one of the activity goals. And in the last part, I gave an explanation of my opinion. Copy this sentence in your notebooks as well. Now it's your turn. Choose 3 or 4 activity goals from the list here that you feel are especially important. Feel free to add any if you want to. Don't forget that your sentence should have 3 parts. The first part is one of the notes you wrote in your notebook for expressing opinion. The second part is the chosen goal. And finally, argumentation, that is an explanation. Write the sentences in your notebook. Meet Wendy. Wendy is an ex-student of ours who has been working in the Šarić Youth Center for the last 6 years. During this time, we have cooperated a lot, and today you will hear her talk about this cooperation. While you listen to Wendy's talk for the first time, focus on the cooperation types between the Šarić Youth Center and our school that she mentions.
Social awareness, social sensitivity, and what it means to us. Hello everybody, my name is Vendi Keserica, and I have been working in Šarić Youth Center for the past 6 years. We live in a time when it is very important to be aware of other people's needs and feelings. A particular emphasis needs to be put on the young, as society puts a lot of pressure on them, the way they should look, walk, dress, or even behave. We aim to help the young to self-express themselves, not to be afraid to do what they want to do or what interests them. This is why I want to believe that in a local community such as Šarić, there is a place where the youth can be taken care of. The Šarić Youth Center was established in 1998, and through its programs and projects, it responds to the needs of different groups of people. Let me tell you how we have expanded our cooperation with the local high school in the past few years. The students in Banjo Jelačić High School are offered various lectures, workshops, support groups, as well as volunteering opportunities. Firstly, I'd like to mention the delivered lectures and workshops on refugees, where we provide these young people with the opportunity to think beyond what the media offers, thus developing their media literacy. The young are given the opportunity to understand the challenges and difficulties refugees have to face on their path. The issue of refugees has been a burning humanitarian issue, not only in Croatia but also in Europe over the last few years. Therefore, it is essential to encourage young people to reflect on the situation. The media not only creates most of the social consciousness, but it is also very often sensationally conveys certain information, with the news losing its real importance. Secondly, we give workshops on human rights policies, promoting tolerance, preventing prejudice and stereotypes, developing communication skills and critical thinking, all very important 21st century skills. By working with young people, we want to show them a broader perspective, and creating a positive image of oneself is of particular importance. Thirdly, in one of our projects called Putokas, we worked with a group of students on developing their self-esteem and their communication patterns that would help them resist the negative peer pressure. Support groups are crucial for developing social sensitivity, because they give us the opportunity to really see and hear others. As I already said, it is very important to be aware of the needs and feelings of others, so encouraging young people to create value in recognizing how others feel is invaluable. The values we develop through our youth are the ones that will follow us throughout our lives. Finally, one of the best value building activities is definitely volunteering. It is all about giving your own time to someone else, without asking questions, without having any expectations, and without wondering, what's in it for me? Volunteering is the purest form of value building that underpins the social sensitivity. Ban Josip Jelačić High School students voluntarily spend their time with the elderly and run some errands for them. They also go to Bistra Special Children's Hospital several times during the year to read stories to the children, take them out for a walk, or even cut their hair. Moreover, in December, they also collect food and other items for the animal shelter Šapica. A peer student learning project is another successful project that focused on helping elementary students attain their educational goals. To sum up, being socially sensitive is something that is learned throughout life, so why not start as soon as possible? We all need to find a way together to live in a happier and healthier community that helps those in need and doesn't look away when social injustice occurs. Let's notice each other, talk to each other, and be there for each other. I want to draw special attention to the weight of the words that we utter daily to others in the class. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope this talk will encourage you to self-express while respecting the others. Take part in your local community. Don't stand by.
In her talk, Wendy mentioned lectures, workshops, support groups, and volunteering opportunities. If you need to listen to her talk again, you can scan the code or use the bit.ly link here or in the video description. Read the skills listed here. Your task is to listen to Wendy's talk again and decide if she mentioned them in her talk or not. So, in your notebooks, write the skills that Wendy mentions. You can listen to her talk more than once if necessary. You can check your work here. Although Wendy may not have mentioned all of these skills, they will all be very important for you in your later life. It might be interesting to see how you feel about them, so maybe you could make a list of the most important skills and compare your list to your classmates' list in your virtual classroom. Here are 3 sentences from Wendy's talk. Fill each gap with one of the words from the word cloud here. We need to put a particular emphasis on the young. The community has to deal with the challenges the youth is facing. We have provided these young people with the opportunity to think beyond what the media offers. Let us now have another look at these sentences, at the words that we used to fill in the gaps. Can we start these sentences with the same words? Let's go back to our first sentence. What is the object in this sentence? A particular emphasis. When we transform a sentence from active into the passive, the first thing you should do is move the object of an active sentence to the first place of the passive sentence. So, you will have this beginning of your passive sentence, a particular emphasis. Next, you should identify the verb of the first sentence. In this case, we have a modal, need to, which you simply copy into the passive sentence. The only adjustment made is the one in the person. So instead of need, we have needs here. Now, the main verb of the active sentence, in this case the verb put, has to be transformed into the passive infinitive. So, you get be plus past participle. Here is a gentle reminder on the form of the past participle. If we talk about regular verbs, you just simply add d or ed, for example, played. If we talk about irregular verbs, you will have to remind yourself about the third column in the list of irregular verbs. In this case, it's put. Finally, you simply copy the rest of the sentence, but be careful as sometimes changes will need to be made. So the sentence we need to put the particular emphasis on the young can be transformed into a passive sentence. A particular emphasis needs to be put on the young. The second sentence was, the community has to deal with the challenges the youth is facing. First, let us move the object, the challenges the youth is facing, to the beginning of the passive sentence. Let's identify the verb now, has to deal with. So copy the first part, has to, adjust it, you get have to, and now the main verb of the active sentence, deal with, which has to be changed into the passive infinitive, be dealt with. So you get the sentence, the challenges the youth is facing have to be dealt with. Read the third sentence again. We've identified the object and moved it to the beginning of the passive sentence. Since we came to a conclusion that the tense in the active sentence is present perfect, you have to put the verb to be in that tense, hence has been. The main verb of the active sentence is provided and the past participle form is also provided. So you get the sentence, the opportunity to think beyond what the media offers has been provided to these young people. However, this active sentence can have two passive forms. You could also have a sentence, these young people have been provided with the opportunity to think beyond what the media offers. Now it's your turn to practice transferring the sentences into the passive. Scan the code or use the bit.ly link here or in the video description to access the task. Good luck! Scan the code or go to bit.ly the passive 2020 to access the task. And the last task for you today. When doing this exercise, first you will need to determine whether it is an active or a passive sentence. Next, you will have to decide which tense you should use. And then fill in the gap. Let's do the first one together. Is it active or passive? Is the zaprašeći center really the doer of the action? No, it isn't, which means we need to use a passive form of the verb establish. Since the sentence clearly states that it happened in 1998, we know that we have to use past simple. The past simple passive form of the verb establish is was or were established. So, the solution is the Zaprašić Youth Center was established in 1998. Now you can finish the task on your own. Write the sentences in your notebook. Which of the sentences were passive? Sentences number 1, 3 and 5 were passive, whereas number 2 and 4 were active. You can check your work here. Let me draw your attention only to the last sentence, because both present simple passive and present continuous passive could be used here. We would need more context to decide. Which of the tasks that we talked about today did you finish? Tick accordingly in this table. Mind you can always go back and do the tasks again. Good luck. See you next time.